So, a very good morning and welcome to another video. I came out today with the intention of shooting some long exposure waves. You know, as the waves are rolling across and crashing around and panning and tracking of them and just making something look a little bit artsy-fartsy and kind of obscure. And well, I kind of really like that look with waves. It's not something I've done an awful lot, but when I've done it, I've always really quite enjoyed the process and the results. Now, today, the North Sea is really North Seaing. There's a lot of North Sea going on, purely because we've got the back end of a storm. I think it was Storm Dara. The problem I'm finding is, well, it's the wet stuff, it's the rain. The wind I can deal with, the rain, I've been here a while and the rain's not stopped. It's wet outside, and I really don't fancy getting wet outside. The weather app says another 30 minutes, which is really good fun. So I'm going to sit here for the next half an hour, watch the rain, watch the waves, and hopefully, not too long, be able to make a YouTube video. Let's see what happens. So, if you look behind me, you can see just how much North Sea there is going on. It is so incredibly windy right now. But this is kind of, I'm hoping, going to help the waves in a way. Obviously, when it's windy like this, you get some big swells in the sea, which are hopefully going to create some big waves that I can track with the OM-1 in the bag. And hopefully take some nice minimalistic long exposure photos, kind of along the lines of that intentional camera movement that you see a lot of times from the woodland, where you pan upwards along the trees. Well, this one, I'm going to pan across with the waves. I don't think I'm going to move too much further from this spot where I am right now, purely because of the way the tide's coming in. The beach is entirely gone. This is a big swell today. Hopefully, where we're standing is going to be nice and safe. So, let's figure out some cameras. Let's figure out some tripods for safety in the wind, and hopefully take a couple of nice photographs. I can't see this being a long one. So I'm hoping the camera bag's going to be somewhat sheltered from the weather there. So let's get this camera set up. So we want to be in manual mode. Live ND is on. I want around a second and a half. Let's have a look. F11 is giving me 1 second at ISO 200. And the plan here is just to track the waves as they're coming along and just see what we can create using it. So let's get set up and take a couple of photographs. Alright, I think I'm about ready to give this a go now. So I've got the camera ready. I'm about as ready as I'm ever going to be. This camera, the tripod legs are spread as far and as wide as you can possibly get. I'm hoping it's going to keep it somewhat safe. The lower downer is the big sort of surface area. That camera should be fine. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's do this. Oh man, the wind. Right, so F11 a second, ISO 200. We're going to focus on the wave, put the camera up to our face and pan it like that, and hopefully get something that looks really kind of artsy. Let's try it. Right, there's a wave coming in now. The second seems to be like way overexposed now. Oh dear. Right, we need to adjust some settings here. ISO 080, stuff it. Let's do that. 13, because we don't got anything in focus. Let's have a look. Shutter speeds. A second. Let's go. Let's track. And we're panning. Kind of fun. There's another one. Let's go. Okay. Right, so immediate problems that I can see in the viewfinder. The wind is blowing me around. So as I'm trying to pan like that, I'm getting shunted around like that with the wind, which is, well, not ideal. And I'm going to cover this microphone now. So let's have another go. A second and a half was a bit much. The sun's come out now and it's really quite bright. Not really a lot I can do in terms of shutter speed, so let's try again, see what happens. Right, so we're back. I think half a second is probably where you want to be for this. A second and a half is really, really too long. You're losing any sort of fine details. So I've just stopped the shutter speed down to half a second, basically. And that's giving some slightly better results. Right, a nice slow pan, that seems to be the way to do this. I've kind of shifted you around, I realised I was shooting straight into the sun. Man, this is a faff. So I'm trying to control the camera myself, all while getting absolutely battered by the wind. It's good fun. The slower shutter speed around a half a second is giving some slightly nicer results, especially if I try and pan a little bit slower and keep some of the foreground in. I'm seeing all of that while I've been looking through the viewfinder. I mean, God knows how these are going to turn out on the computer, but, well, it's a laugh, isn't it? I'm also trying to keep a somewhat entertaining video. You can see all of the sea foam blowing over me. It's just how bad it is today. Let's try another one. Fan. Here we go. We're getting something that looks like I'm trying to achieve here. There we go. So slower panning is obviously the way to do this. Faster panning, no. Slower panning, yes. Right. Let's get that wind for a minute. Well, that was a little bit of fun, wasn't it? But we now have some absolutely gorgeous light lighting up some of these waves. This time of year, sort of mid-December, just before the solstice, it's kind of that golden hour all of the time, isn't it? Sort of perpetual golden hour. I always like this time of year. So I wonder if we can, like, throw a really fast shutter speed on and just freeze some of these waves as they're rolling around and glinting in the light. Let's try that. Boom. There's one. Let's try to see if we can catch a wave breaking or something. Jeez, wow. I wonder if I should have a polarizer on for this. Hey, just a couple of stop motion waves, shall we call them? Because they're not really waving, they're just going like, they're all air like that. Wow, the wind. Here's a couple of photographs. Alright, so just offshore in the North Sea, there is a bit of a wind farm. And obviously all these big waves are going right towards me. And I kind of thought, let's go back to this long exposure kind of idea. Just let me clean the front of this lens. The waves are getting closer. Just let me clean the front of the lens and I'll explain this one to you, because it's all wet and stuff and I don't like it. Right, so the waves are coming straight at me. So I'm going to throw the live ND filter back on. Hopefully not get swept out to sea by a wave. And I'm going to try and do sort of half-second long exposure as the waves are sort of coming towards the camera. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's going to be fun trying it. So let's spin around. Right, oh dear. I get the feeling I'm going to need to be sort of at 80mm here, kind of punched in. Let's have a look. Yeah, so 80mm, f11's giving me half second. Right, let's go, let's do this. Alright, so they look kind of fun in the viewfinder, so I'll throw them on the screen for you to see. Alright, so I've swapped out lenses now. For the most part, I've been using the Olympus 12-40 Pro. I've actually thrown the 40-150, the plastic R thing on. The little bit of extra reach here, I'm having a lot more fun freeze framing the waves. There is some awesome sidelight. It's been a little bit more fun just to try and single out some big waves as they're crashing. And you have to sort of freeze them. We never really see waves like this around here. It's always kind of a bit of a trickle of a tide, so I think this is going to be a little bit more fun. There's one breaking there. The long exposure stuff was working great. I like the long exposure stuff, but I think in terms of having fun, I think a nice fast shutter speed, f5.6 as fast as this lens goes at 150mm, 640th of a second. We're using the low ISO. Well, let's have a look. Let's single out another wave, another one that's going to break really nicely. There's one. We missed it. Bugger. We've got another one coming. There's another one. Yeah, this is really good fun. Never actually get a chance to do this all that often. Might have to visit Faro. Hey, there's a big splashing one. Wow. Something, I don't even know which one to single out. I'm trying to get one as it's arcing over, but the problem is they're moving that quick I can't keep up. There's one. I finally got one. Here it is. So the rain has now come back, it's made a return. I'm also sheltering the microphone from the wind a little bit. So thank you very much just for watching this video today, doing some slightly stupid and sketchy stuff in the wind and the waves of the coast. I don't often get a chance to do this kind of thing, so it has been a little bit of fun. I don't know if the photographs are going to be any good, but yeah, it's all part and parcel of photography, isn't it? It's a little bit of trial, a little bit of error, and just a little bit of fun at the same time. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do give it a like and a thumbs up. And if you're new here, consider giving me a subscribe. You see more micro fourth edge nonsense every single week. But I think for now, I'm gonna go get back in the car and get warmed up. I'll catch you in the next one.